Alright, here is Hey There Delilah by Plain White Tees. Before you try to learn this song, you should have it memorized pretty well, so you can know which parts come after what and all the little tiny differences that happen throughout the song, because there's a lot of them. Other than that, it's a pretty simple song. The whole basis of the song is that you're using your fingers to play instead of a pick, and it's an alternating bass note with two higher strings. So let's just do this for example. Here's the D, and this is how it's played throughout the song. So thumb on the bass string, and these two fingers, pointer and middle fingers, are plucking the higher strings. In this case, it's the G and B strings. I usually anchor my pinky on the 6th string. And then you go right into the first verse. The very first line of the first verse is the same as the intro, as I've said before. I'll play that one more time. And then from there you go on to a B minor. And for the B minor, the bass note is on the A string, 2nd fret of the A string, instead of the D string. So move your thumb up to the next string. And this is what it sounds like, the first part of the 2nd line of the verse. And you do that 3 times, and then on the 4th time you lift your pointer finger up, open A string, before you go on to the next chord. So here it is again. And then you go to a G chord. Remember that you're fretting down the 3rd frets. It's basically, some people do their G chords like this, where they only push down the 3rd fret of the high E string, but I usually do my G chord like this, with the 3rd frets of the B and E strings fretted down, and you're going to need to do that in this case. So make sure you have this finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and this is what you're going to do for the G chord. Bass string is the low E string now, so move it up another one, and this is what it sounds like. You just do it twice. So starting at the beginning of the 2nd line of the verse, here's what it sounds like. B minor. And then you go to an A chord, and this time the A string is going to be your bass note. Just twice there. So here it is from the top. You go back to the B minor, 4 times, and then you go straight to the A. And for the A, you're still using the 5th string as your bass note, and you do it like you did the A the first time, so mainly this. And then after that you go up 2 strings with these fingers, so you move from the G and B strings to the B and E strings. So from this to this. So this is what the last A sounds like. And then you start all of that over again, starting with this lines 1 and 2 of the verse are the same as lines 3 and 4. So here are lines 1 and 2 of the verse, which you'll repeat to get the whole verse. And then you go to the chorus, which is pretty simple. You use the D and the B minor chords. 3 counts on the D, so, and then you go up to to the open A string for the until right before you transition to the B minor, and then you go to the B minor, and then you change your bass note for the B minor to the 4th fret instead of the 2nd fret. So from this to this, and then you transfer back to the D. So here's what it sounds like. So you'll notice that for the D, when you switch the bass string, you don't do another one of these. You don't use these 2 fingers again, you just go right to the B. So, right to the B. And then you'll notice that on the B, after you do this, change it from the 2nd to the 4th fret, you do this one more time. You use these fingers one more time before you switch back to the D. So here it is again. And then you go back to the D and do it again. You repeat the D to B minor pattern 4 times, so there's a total of going from D to B minor 4 times, and then right before you go into the next verse you kind of connect them together by doing this pattern, which is the D chord. So it goes straight from that into the 2nd verse, which starts out on a D chord. The bridge starts off on a G chord, and you do it 4 times. Go to an A and do it 4 times. D 3 times. And then you do that little bass thing like we did in the chorus. And then switch to the B minor. And you let up on the 2nd fret of the A string so it's open before switching to the B. Or switching to the G, I'm sorry. So here's the first line of the bridge again. Here's the second line of the verse. It's pretty much the same as the first line, except when you switch from the D to the B minor, you don't do this string open. You're doing it on the 4th fret. So that's the only difference. Okay, so here's the last part of the bridge. And then you move right into verse 3. Verse 3 is different from the first 2 verses. Start off with the intro riff, which is D to F sharp minor. And then the second line of the verse starts off with the B minor. So it's B minor G A, B minor G A. That's the second line of the verse 3. So here is the third line. So you do the B minor like you normally would, then do the 4 counts of regular A, 4 counts of the next 2 higher strings. And then you have the chorus again, and then for the very end of the song, this riff is played. It's the D chord. So it goes the normal D, and then the bass, change the bass to the A string, and then strum the D. So here's what it sounds like. One more time, normal speed. And that's the whole song.